Peace. Once again, this is Anpu Ra with another video of astral travel. Last video I did, I spoke about what happened to me on December 31st, 2013. It was a very powerful experience. I was in a lucid dream, and it was like if I was in an African ritual. Okay. It was like I sacrificed a bull and received the spirit of this entity. And once again, the same African man that I see in my dreams all the time, or when I astral travel, he also took part of this experience. The last video also spoke about tuning in your psychic ability. I gave you some of my experience of my psychic ability that I've come across and what I've developed, and it's pretty amazing. Once you start paying attention to it, it just gets stronger. You just be more conscious with it. And like I said before, I could keep going on and on with stories of just psychic ability. Even in May, this past May, and this past May, I mean, today's August 10th, so this happened in May. In May, I was at the pool, with my girl and my stepson, and I got like a flash of the past when I was young at a Liberty Pool in Queens, Southside Jamaica, Queens, and I got a flashback memory of that experience. And I remember telling my girl, like, yeah, I remember back in the day, I was at the pool, my little brother, my baby brother, and my uncle was there. My uncle was there, and my little brother had slipped in the baby pool and split his chin. And I remember how my uncle, ran around so fast, and he was so short. Like, he ran so fast, and he came, got my little brother. We rushed him to the hospital. And then I kind of got onto the subject of my uncle because my girl, she's never met him. And, just sitting there reminiscing about my uncle. And I remember I told her, I said, you might not never, I said, I wish you would meet my uncle. You probably will never meet him because, he's locked up right now. And so I heard that he was very sick. And I was like, he's my favorite uncle. He was just a great man, He was just so funny. He was full of life. But, at the same time, he was a gangster. So, he was always getting into things that, jeopardized his life and stuff like that, man. But I always loved my uncle. So that same day, after the pool, went back home, and my mom, which is my aunt, she's my foster mother, my aunt, she gave me a text. Just finished speaking about him. Sent me a text saying, I forgot to tell you, but your uncle passed away. And I was just like, wow, that's crazy. I texted back. I said, that's crazy because I was just talking about him. She was like, really? Wow, that's crazy. And I'm like, that is crazy. Maybe it's something to deal with. In that situation, I'm not sure if it was more with the psychic ability or just his spirit connecting with me, saying that was his way of saying goodbye, because I had all these good memories of him, speaking about him. And I don't know, it just came to me. Maybe he came and he sparked that memory into me. Who knows? Just to prove this show that there's more to this, this physical realm, and there is still a connection with your loved ones that moved on to the next level. So in that situation was very deep. Like I said, I could just keep going on and on with these type of psychic abilities. You see, that one was like within the moment, and then it just came together. It was just crazy. Um, yeah. So that last video was pretty deep, and I just want to give a shout out to the two guys that hit me up. This one, it just gets deeper. It just gets deeper. So that was December 31st, 2013. That was a Tuesday. And like I said, this experience was happening. It was happening once a month. All right. All right. On this one, I don't even think they ready for this. On this one, this happened on January 9th, 2014. So in that last segment, that was the last of 2013. So I just gave y'all a whole year of that experience. That was my whole experience through 2013. So now I'm going to go into 2014. So this experience, January 9th, 2014, that was a Thursday. Okay. Here I wrote in my journal, this was another powerful lucid dream. I wrote here, I'm not going to write much detail about the lucid dream, but I'm just going to get to the point. And, but in this video, I could speak about it. It started off like if I was in a prison. Like if I was in a prison and I saw my cousin. I seen my cousin, and he was like, yo, I'm going to show you, what to do in this prison. And that's when I became lucid, because I was like, what the hell am I doing in prison? You see, when you have these experiences with these dreams, they kind of make you conscious. And then when I became conscious, it's like, what the hell am I doing in prison? And he was like, yeah, I'm going to show you where you going to sleep at, what to do, what the things to do, what not to do. Like, he was giving me the ropes on prison life. And I was like, I'm not in jail. Like, what the hell I do to get in prison? So then when I said that in the dream, boom, I became conscious. And then when I became conscious, I saw this entity. This entity looked like an African man, but he was like, he had like a face, like he was ready for war, right? He was like an African man, but not the same African man that I've been having these experiences with. Totally different entity. You know what I'm saying? I knew it wasn't him. This entity's energy was very intense. I was scared of him. And his energy was really, he was like ready for war. He was just looking at me. And I remember I was like scared to like look at him, and I'm like with my cousin in this prison. And I remember just walking by him, like trying not to look at him. And we walked by him. And then I had entered this like, it was weird. Like I said, you go through these doors are like portals. So I went from a prison setting, but then when we went through these doors, it was like if I was in this mansion. So boom. Now when I went to this mansion, now this is when I just spoke about it within my journal. See, that part I didn't never put in my journal. I felt like it wasn't need for me to get into all those details, but since I'm doing a video about it, I might as well give you the full detail on it. So I was talking to this family. It was like this big living room. I was talking to this family, and they all had the same features. Like if they look like from like a tribal, like very tribal, the tribal people like from Australia, like those tribal indigenous people from Australia. They all, like, you see those people, they all have like the same features. They all look related. They all look the same. And this is what these people look like. And I remember there were three women, and they were like sitting at a round table, like sewing, like knitting clothes and stuff. They all had the same features. But I was more talking to the children, and the children, they were very friendly. And I remember asking them, like, where y'all from? Like, where y'all from? Like, y'all Spanish? Like, y'all from Australia? And I remember one of the kids was like, no, but I could speak Spanish. And it was weird. And I was just like, what? So as I in the conversation with these kids, it was like four of them. It was like four kids, and they all had the same features. It was crazy. That indigenous, that from the tribes of Australia, like, it's so crazy. And then as I was speaking to them, a man walked, that same man that was in the setting with the prison that had that warlike look, like, he walks in, and I was like, oh shit, like maybe he coming for me. And I'm like, the whole time I'm conscious, and I'm like, oh shit, it's the same dude. So he walks in, but like I said, he looked different from them. He was more of an African. He had like more African features. He was very dark skinned. And yeah, he was much darker. And I said he came into the room, and he was holding a baby. And I remember one of the kids, that I was talking to, they said his name. But they said his name wrong, because when he walked in, they was like, Ogo, Ogo. And he was like, no, Ogun. And when he said that, I was like, oh shit. I'm like, Ogun. And I was like, damn, he must be the leader or something. Like, who is this dude? Like, it was the way he said it with authority. And, I didn't know who this guy was or what he wanted, but he was holding his baby in his hand. And he sat next to me. And I said, wow, your baby is very beautiful. And when I looked at the baby, it was a girl. And she looked just like my friend's daughter that passed away. It was her. And yeah, my best friend's daughter had passed away. She was only a couple of months. And that was probably the most hardest things that I had to go through in life, was to see my best friend go through that. That was very tough. And her name was Dior. And beautiful baby. Very beautiful. She came here for a reason. And it's crazy, because that night, me and my friend went to go see her. We was holding her and taking pictures with her. And then that same night, she passed away. And the doctors didn't know what was the cause. They called it crib death, because, they just don't have an answer. But she was definitely here for a reason. She is an angel in my heart. And then within this lucid dream, and within this experience, she was with him. And that kind of shocked me. That was I was very shocked. So the baby started to cry. She started to cry. And I wanted to move away, because I'm thinking maybe it's because of me. And then the whole time I'm like shocked, like I didn't know what to do or say. And I'm like, that's my best friend, baby. Like, that's her. That's Dior. Like, I know that's her. And I'm looking at him like, yo, that's crazy. And I decided to move away. I started to like walk out the room. And right before I was about to walk out the room, the man that called himself Ogun said, speak to her in Arabic. Now, I know a couple of words in Arabic, but my question is how did he know? So, I know a couple of words like Sebache or Gamila, Habibi, Shakran. And as I started saying that, the baby started to smile. She started to smile. And yeah, so I started saying them, and then she started to laugh and smile. I didn't understand this lucid dream. And I had told my friend of mine that I always speak to, Hathor. I speak to her every time. She was one of the first. She was one of the first ones that was helping me out with this lucid dreaming and astral traveling. I had no one to go to, but she was such an open-minded person. She's been to Egypt. She's into these things that I'm into. The metaphysics, deep spirituality. So it was easy for me to open up to her. So, I came to her and I started telling her about this lucid dream because I had no idea, who was this Ogun character. So, yeah, so I'm starting to tell her the story. I'm starting to tell her my experience. And I was like, yeah, the kids were saying Ogo, Ogo. And then he came in, he was like, nah, Ogun. And her face expression was like, and I was like, what? And she was like, you don't know who Ogun is? And I was like, nah, I don't. And she was like, he's a god. And I'm like, what? And I just got real nervous. I got real nervous. Like, whoa, that shit was crazy because his power was very intense. It was something about him, that energy. He was very intense entity. I was kind of scared of him. And then she started, telling me about the Orisha, about these gods. They took part of this creation of this, these realms and stuff. But I had no knowledge of this. And it's crazy because I do a lot of studies, on the ancient Egyptian gods, on ancient Sumerian gods, and, the Aztecs, the Olmecs, the Greek gods. I do all these, research all the time. And I'm saying to myself, how did I miss this? How did I miss that? I've heard of voodoo and Buddha. I've heard of that. And that's what these Orisha gods come into. But I never did like an intense study on voodoo. I never did. But it was, when I did do the research, come to find out this is like one of the first religions, practices that was done in Africa. And they were, these traditions carried on when through the slave trade into the Caribbean islands, and that's why it's very popular in Haiti and Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, you know, and, they do it there. It's still practiced to this day. But I mean, it was kind of crazy that he came to me and I had no knowledge of this entity. I just couldn't speak to her. I had to like get myself together to what just happened, what she just told me. So I remember I walked away. So she started going in, you know, she was telling me that she has a book on Orisha. It's like about all the gods, Oshun, Obatala, you know. all the rest of them, and she, she was telling me that she has a book and she's going to give me this book. I still have this book, and explaining the information about these entities. And it's so funny because that day I was wearing a green thermal shirt, and I was wearing these same exact praying beads. And these praying beads are green. And the reason why I wore these that day is because during that experience when Ogun told me to speak Arabic, I thought about my friend that I used to work with. His name was Mustafa, and he was an Egyptian. He was an Egyptian. And he was like a father figure to me. And he passed away, and that crushed me as well. It was a great loss for me. I mean, he was a great man. But he gave me these praying beads. And he said that these praying beads was from Sudan. They were from Sudan. So, not even knowing, that same day, right after I had that experience and I spoke to my friend Hathor, I had a green thermal on with these green beads on, to honor the memory of my friend. And she was telling me that Ogun color is green. I didn't know this. I had no knowledge of this information. I'll be honest with you. I just, things is not coincidence. Like, oh, what a coincidence. Nah, like, this shit is real. This shit is real. And Ogun is the god of metal. The god of war. He's a warrior. That's why when I saw him, he was scary looking. Like, I was scared of this dude. Like, his face expressions. Like, he had a serious look about him, like, not to be fucked with. And I was like, yo, this dude is serious. And when he walked in the room, his presence was powerful and everybody respected him. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that experience was crazy. And that was January 9th, 2014. That was a Thursday. And yeah, that was a pretty deep experience of Ogun. So, if you want to, I'm pretty sure people out there have knowledge of this. But back then I had no knowledge of the Orisha. But look it up. Do your homework. And it's so crazy that my brother, which is my cousin, but I always say he's my brother. We grew up together since a child. He's starting his own clothing line, right? This is the crazy thing. This is what I be talking about. He's starting his own clothing line, and he has his artist. Him and his artist came up with this logo. And the logo looks like an African tribal logo, and it looks like Ogun, which is crazy. And, I hit him up like, yo, that look like the god Ogun. Like, you know who Ogun is? And he's like, nah, like, we came up with this on our own, this and the third. And it so happens that the next episode that I was about to do is about Ogun. So that energy is coming right back around. That energy is coming right back around. It's not a coincidence. I mean, it's like, what much proof do people need? You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. I have another friend. I call her the Morning Glory. She know who she is. And we first met. We started, talking about spirituality, and I kind of threw it out there to her to see how she would grasp it. And I was like, what you know about astral traveling? And she was like, oh, I know two people that do it all the time. Once she said that, I said, okay, then I can open up, to her about this, because I just don't be telling anybody. But here I am telling the world, right? But these videos is only for certain people. But me and her got real cool. We got real close. And I know a lot. So she became like a student. She became my student. Just like Hathor. But with me and Hathor, it was different. We were teaching each other. We were teaching each other, which is pretty cool. We would throw information at each other, like certain things that she didn't know, I'll throw at her. And certain information that I didn't know, she'll throw at me, and we would just research together, and we just grew consciously together. It was just a crazy. It's just a special bond that we have, me and Hathor. Like I said, she put me on to Ogun, gave me a book and everything. But me and my new student, the Morning Glory, we was in a break room. We kind of like connected spiritually as well. And one day we was speaking. She was telling me about her dreams, and I was telling her, be focused on your dreams, remember your dreams. And she was saying that how she keeps having a dream of a lion, right? We in the break room. She kept saying, I have a dream about this lion, it's chasing me. Or one time I had a dream that the lion was trying to eat my son. And then I said, maybe that's your animal spirit, or maybe something's trying to connect with you somehow. Maybe it's trying to wake you up and you become lucid within your dream, right? And then as we was talking, we have a TV in the break room. As we were speaking about this lion, I said, turn around, look at the TV. Turn it around. Sure enough, it was like a National Geographic channel on, and it was about lions. And she looked at me like, whoa. I was like, it's no coincidence. It's no coincidence. This is what I was trying to explain to her. And it's crazy because she also, she speaks Farsi. And I was explaining to her about the experience of Ogun one day. And I was telling her about the green color of Ogun. And I was telling her about the whole experience. And, and I told her about the praying beads, the situation, how I wore the praying beads and all that. And she, she has knowledge of the praying beads and all that. And then right in the conversation that we was having, and I was telling her about this experience on January 9th, another coworker walked up to us while we were sitting at the table. And we looked at her, and she had praying beads on. I wasn't wearing mine that day, but we was just talking about, like, I'm talking about within seconds. She walked in to tell me something, and we looked at each other like this, and she was like, Freddie, and like the bottom has mine's is a metal, but some praying beads have like the strings on it, and Ogun is the god of metal, right? And this is metal. So hers was like the strings on it, and she was like, Freddie, look at the color, it's green. And I was like, here we are talking about Ogun, talking about the praying beads. And this my coworker walks up to us with praying beads on, and the strings on it was green. So like I said, it's no coincidence. Once you start tapping into this energy, it's like you start to see it and feel it, smell it, taste it, everything around you. It's kind of hard to explain. But the Morning Glory, she can tell you. And I think once we had that experience together, she took me serious. And she opened up, and she was like, wow, this guy knows what he's talking about. It's not like I'm just saying random things. That's the thing. The hardest thing is to make people believe. But I don't believe in anything. It's either I know or I don't know. But at some point you have to, trust somebody else's word for it. And that's the hardest thing. You know what I'm saying? That's the hardest thing. And, but once you open up to it, it can open up a whole new world. And like I said before, it's like, once you cross over, there ain't no turning back. There is no turning back. No turning back. And it's funny because the other day I was watching The Golden Child. And in the movie The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy, I didn't even realize it until I saw it recently. Like, oh shit, Eddie Murphy had a lucid dream. You know what I'm saying? When the demon when he was sleeping, he woke up, he realized he was dreaming when he saw the pony, the pony walk by him and shit, and then he was like, wow, I'm dreaming. But at the same time, he was conscious. He was like, I know I'm dreaming. I'm gonna say, because I know this is a dream, I'm just gonna say this from the bottom of my heart. Kiss my ass. Like, and you hear the applause and the people clapping in the audience, like he knew it was a dream. And that is a perfect example of lucid dreaming. Perfect example. And it's funny because I saw the movie and I was just like, wow, that's crazy. That movie showed that, and it's called The Golden Child, you know. But that was just an example. But I'm gonna leave y'all. I'm gonna leave y'all on that note. For those who are watching my videos, just want to thank y'all for watching. You know what I'm saying? We gonna we gonna do this together. We gonna learn together. We gonna grow together. Just sharing information with each other, sharing our experience with each other, and just grow as one. So on that note, I'm gonna say peace, hotep. Once again, it's Anpu Ra with another video of astral travel. One.